Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us on this webinar today. So it looks like we still have a couple more people joining right now. So before we get into it, I wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Nick Minio. I am a licensed loan officer here with Excel since 2015. And recently I've been helping out on the recruiting side. So I've had the opportunity to speak with hundreds of LOs, and a lot of these LOs are talking about, they're looking for ways how they can grow their business, whether it's more support with processing, marketing, or technology. And specifically, a lot of them are interested in the technology aspect. So today we're going to get into our PLUTO app. It's an efficiency app for loan officers to make your life easier. We're going to get into the details of that and show you a quick demo on that, along with our pricing engine. So you guys could take a look at how that works and the different options that we have for you as a loan officer.
Right. I'm going to jump in. So I'm Shaughnessy. I am the president and CEO of Excel Realty and Mortgage. We are a real estate and mortgage company. Um, on the lending side, we operate a little differently. So I'm going to go over a couple quick slides and then we'll get into the pricing engine, which makes life a lot easier if you're pricing out loans where you're going directly into the lender, pricing it out there, and then going to another lender, pricing it out there. Obviously, life is going to be a lot easier here where you're pricing it just directly in our pricing engine, which is going to show you the majority of the lenders. You can do it a couple different ways. One is directly, and then the other way is when you have a file open in our LOS system, you can price directly in that LOS system. So it makes life pretty easy. And then the PLUTO app, that's an app that we created ourselves. It is 100% homegrown here. And we really created it to make your life easier here as a loan officer to be able to get lending estimates and that type of thing out to your clients, to be able to see all of our lenders, to see what lenders do, what type of products, that kind of thing. So we're going to go over all those, but first I am going to share a screen here. Hang on. Okay, and you're seeing that unlock your potential with Excel Mortgage Services, correct? Thank
That's
you. Obviously, if you have questions, put it in the chat. Nick's going to get back to us at the end of this thing and answer whatever questions you have. We can do one-on-one meetings, obviously, after this as well, but we have a lot of questions about we price things and our technology and that type of thing. So we thought we would just do this quick webinar on this. So again, Excel Mortgage Services, we started the company in 2005. And we've been going strong ever since. In 2014, we became a non-delegated correspondent lender. So we've been doing the non-delegated side for a long time. Non-delegated just means that we are the lender on the file. The only piece that we do not do is the underwriting. So you're still sending it to the big brokers, the Rockets, the AmeriHomes, the PennyMacs, and all those kind of lenders, and they're the ones underwriting the file. But we're doing all the LEs, the CDs, the upfront disclosures. We're drawing docs, we're funding loans, that type of thing. So we do it for a long time. We are top ranked as a 100 lender as of 2019 and closed over $7 billion in transactions. We are licensed in multiple states. There's some coming soon as well. But basically, our main states are California, Arizona, Texas, Oregon, Washington. Florida is coming and Colorado is coming. There's more states as well. We're looking at Idaho and a couple other ones, Utah, that type of thing. So quickly, just to go over banker versus broker. So you have the ability to broker loans here. You have the ability to use the banking side. Most of our loans do go on the banking side. It's better pricing, better process, better everything, in my opinion. There's about 11 different correspondent purchase investors of ours. So we'll get into that process on another webinar, that type of thing. But it says 60 lenders. There's really about 70 lenders now. It's a flat fee broker concept as far as your commission structure, or as far as the broker fee with your commission structure. So just to clearly go over that, you select a comp plan anywhere from 1% to 2.75. Technically, you could go lower than that, and you could go, up to that 2.75 really. But and it's quarter% increments in between there. And it's a quarterly election that you make. So if you like a 2% comp plan, you can have that. And when you close a transaction, there is not a percentage that we take out of your check or anything like that. There's a flat fee of $5.95. So if you're on a percentage, an 80/20 or a 90/10 or whatever, you can do the math and figure out that it's probably a lot better here. There's not any real monthly fees or anything like that. So we'll get more into that later. Disclosure Desk technology, pricing engine, MBS highway, and fast turn times. So Disclosure Desk, we disclose everything quickly here. So we get those loans. Once you assign it to our disclosure team, they're going to make sure they run AUS. They're going to check to make sure they get fees in there from the title company, wherever you're going with the loan. And they're going to get disclosures out. They're going to send that to you ahead of time and make sure that you see before your clients see what the disclosures are that's going to your client. Technology, our LOS system, PLUTO app, pricing engine, bunch of other things. We'll kind of get into that. Pricing engine, we're going to do that. MBS Highway, we send out lock alerts to all of our loan officers. When pricing starts to get worse, we kind of let you know, hey, it might be the time to lock right now before pricing gets a lot worse. We also send out updates along the way. Hey, today's floating. We haven't had a lock alert for a while. Just kind of giving you a little insight in the market. We use MBS Highway as the backbone for that. So we're getting information. We're not trying to figure it out ourselves. We're using experts like Barry Habib to make sure that we're getting the real information. Fast turn times, always 30 days and under, no problem at all. We close deals in 20 days all the time. Pricing engine, we're going to go over that. So no need to talk about it. PLUTO app, this is it. We're going to go over that. No need to talk about it. And you can book a one-on-one appointment. So let's get into it. And that's some of the team members there. All right. So we're on our pricing engine. Basically, you're going to have your own login here. Once you log in, it's going to do its thing. Here's the cool thing with the pricing engine. This is directly through the web version of it. You can do it on a phone, a tablet, PC, Mac, whatever. You can look at historical pricing. I love that. So if I want to see, or if I'm talking with a client and I'm like, hey, during a certain period of time, rates were even lower or whatever, I can kind of have a real understanding of where it was when I'm talking to them, right? I can just pull up any date and time I want to go back to. Right now we're in March, but we can go, back to December or October when rates were really low for a little period of time and find out really where they were. You're going to put all the parameters of the loan in there, FICO score, obviously the purchase price, the loan amount, whether it's conventional, fixed or an ARM, and then the type of property it is, whether it's single family and all that, primary residence, that type of thing. So a couple things. For one, you can search multiple products at the same time. So you could say, hey, is this better at a conventional or FHA on a scenario that's at 80% loan to value with a 760 FICO score? It's not going to be. So, but if you want it to, you can search that way. So I'm going to do it just for fun on here. So it's going to bring both those type of loans in there. I'm going to be searching under all rates and prices. And I do that because that's the way I personally like to search for it. You can search by an actual rate. You can search by a comp plan. You can search by a lot of different ways. But the way I personally like to do it is just everything that's available I want to see. So you press search. Obviously, it's going to pull up eligibility. So if it was a high DTI or it was a high loan to value or whatever, if it's not allowed, it will not show up there. So because I ran two different products, it's going to bring both these products up, right? So conventional and FHA. So if I open this up, it's bringing in all rates at anything that's on their rate sheet, right? So I usually like to get it back to around par. So if I wanted to do a borrower paid transaction, which you can here, of course, I could look and say, okay, well, at Next Bank, I can get 100.187. So 18 basis points above par, right? If I wanted to do that, I'll make this a little bigger here for us. If I wanted to use that as the rate that I was going to select, then I would just give the borrower that credit of 18 basis points, and then I would charge the borrower an origination up to my comp plan or less. So you can do, if you have a 2% comp plan, you can do 2%, but you could also just do 1% if that makes more sense for you, and then give that credit back of that 18 basis points. Or let's say you had a, 1.5% comp plan. I personally would look at around 101.25 as the rate that I'm looking at because I want to see if there's a rate right below 1.5%. Like, for instance, well, that's a very good example. So at Next Bank, it's 101.488 for a rate of 6.625 today. Well, if I select that rate, I'm charging the borrower essentially, it's less than 2 basis points to get to 1.5%, right? So if I had a 1.5% comp plan, there would be a discount point to your borrower of 1.2 basis points. And then all the rest of the commission would be coming in from the compensation that we're selecting here. And just so you know, on the banking side, there's no disclosure of your compensation. Now, your borrower would see that 1.2 basis points because that's going to be a discount. It's going to be shown on everything. But the 1.488 in the lender paid part of it is not going to be something that shows up really anywhere because we are a bank. We're a mortgage bank, and it's a secondary transaction after the close is what really when we're getting paid this money. And so if you had a 1.5% comp line, you could select this. There'd be a tiny little charge to your borrower, and that's it. And you'd be getting that 6.25. Or you could obviously go up to, a higher rate. Let's just say at 6.75, it's 101.603. Your borrower would be getting the credit that is available there. So, basically it's 10 basis points above 1.5% if that was your comp plan. Again, you could have a comp plan of 2%, 2.5%, 2.75 if you want to. That's kind of the way we can look at things. You can also look at all lenders here. So you could say, hey, I don't really care about any of these lenders. The only one I want to see is Rocket, let's say. Well, if I just select Rocket, it's just going to bring up all of Rocket, right? So I can see exactly what Rocket's at if that's the only lender I really want to talk to right now. So very easy system. It kind of works like a spreadsheet. So everything's very fast. It's not having to recalculate it or anything like that. So if I brought up, hey, I really have a 102 comp plan and I want to just look at 102 and above, just select 102 and it's going to bring it up. Hey, AmeriHome 102.001. So that's exactly 102, really, at 6.875, and you'd be able to get that deal. Going back to the conventional versus FHA, I could also take a look and just go, okay, well, at 102, I'm still at that 102 pricing. What is it for FHA? Well, I can get 5.99 with Village right now at 102.026, so 2 basis points above that comp plan of 102. So pretty easy to figure out which way is best for your client, which way is best for you, that type of thing. You can always go back up to the search fields. That's another thing I really like about it, because if I said, hey, I just want to look at and then now modify it to a 90% loan to value. Well, I can put in 90%, and now it's going to recalculate that. I can press search again, and it's going to figure out, hey, what would be best at that, LTV. So very simple system to use. Anything that I'm missing there, Nick, that you can think of off the top of your head?
One thing I'd say, and if you go back to the search field
Yep.
section, just a feature that I like in the top left, you have the borrower and scenario. So you could put in the borrower last name, all
Yep.
the parameters, and then save it. So that it's just efficient, and every time you go in to check the rate, you just type in the name and it's all going to populate in there. So
So the
definitely
favorites
a
are
lot.
saved there and ready to go the next time. Nick's last name is Minio, so I could put in there, hey, Minio, that's his scenario, and the next time just search for that. It's already going to have it in there. Yeah. Anything else that you can think of off the top of your head?
Um, that's it for that. I mean, we do have some questions coming in on it, but do you want to get to that at the end of
Let's
it?
do it kind of more at the end. But so actually, one thing I do want to mention too, you can run non-QM scenarios in here. You can run HELOCs even in here. You can run all kinds of things. You can change things. Hey, it's a first-time home buyer. Their debt to income ratio is, 49.999%, whatever. And if it's not allowed, it's doing eligibility and pricing. So it's not just pricing. If you need to do impounds, non-impounds, that type of thing. If you only want to look at DU or LP or whatever it is you want to look at, you can do all that. I always suggest for people to kind of keep it as broad as possible to begin with. It's an easier way of searching. It's a better way for me to search for products for my clients. And then I might start filtering it down a little bit afterwards. Um, and then I did want to mention that if we're in our LOS system, it's called Lending Pad, you can always go up and price directly in the system. So it's going to take all the information that you have in the file and it's going to open up as a second, window. Basically, I'm going to go in and also search the same way that I was doing before. It defaults to whatever rate you have in there. I'm going to search by all rates and prices again. And if you need to change anything, you can change it in here, but it's going to take a look at everything that's in here. This was a Texas loan, so it's bringing in Texas. It's still 80% loan to value, still 720 FICO score. So a little different than the scenario that I had before. But basically when you search, it's going to go out and do its thing just like it did in the web version of it. So again, it's going to bring up all rates and prices, but again, I can go to, par rates at 100 if I want to, and it's going to bring up rates right there. It'll show there's 8 lenders under 6.375 there. So you can open that up and just select whichever lender you want, or again, you can go up to here and select different lenders that you may want in there. Pretty easy, pretty simple. We don't actually lock through this system. What you're going to do is whatever lender you are submitting to. So if you want to submit to Sierra Pacific or PennyMac or whatever, you're going to have your own log in there. You're going to be able to see the underwriting conditions directly, all that kind of stuff, and you're going to be able to lock on your own right there. So when our disclosure desk registers your file, you have the ability to lock immediately. And that's all done same day, of course. So, okay, done with that part of it. Let's go on to PLUTO. So PLUTO is an app that we created. Again, it's completely proprietary to us. We created it ourselves. And we made it just to make life easier for you as a loan officer. So you'd have your own login here. I'm going to show you the phone version of it because that's the way we created it is to where on your phone, you would have the ability to look at all of our lenders, to send out a fees estimate, to do all kinds of things, to see your loans in the pipeline. So for example, it's going to bring in any loan that I have currently in the pipeline. And this is kind of a fake file here, but basically, if I bring this in, it's going to bring in this particular loan. And if I had something I wanted to tell the processor, like, I still need to get an updated W-2. Well, when I press this, now the processor is able to see that, and that conversation log is stamped and everything like that. So even if you're out and about and you're like, oh, I forgot this on one of my loans. Well, anything that's in processing is going to show up in your app already. It's going to tell you where it's at, initial disclosures, or it's approved, or wherever it's at, funding, or whatever it's at. All of our turn times are here, different states that we're in. Any of the in the know videos. So I do a video once a month, send it out to everybody. We got to update this on here. And basically, you can play the video right there. There's all kinds of updates that we put on here. We put on videos on how to use the app throughout the whole app. Cool part of it is you go down to this lender section. All of our lenders are in here. So as you keep going down, there's just going to be more and more and more lenders. It's going to keep filling in and filling in more. Any of these lenders, you can click on this info and reviews, and it's going to bring up the account exec's information. So when you're on your phone, you can click the button. It's going to call the person, or it's going to send them an email directly. It's also going to give some different information about that lender. But one of the cool things is that what we did is we said, okay, well, who are our correspondent investors? Well, you can select that here, and it's going to bring up all of our correspondent investors. So that's AmeriHome, ARC, Flagstar, now it's called Mr. Cooper. It's going to be called L&D Mortgage pretty soon. Um, JMac, NewRez, NextBank, PennyMac, PRMG, Rocket, Sierra Pacific, and Village Capital. So on any of these, you can kind of bring up, some information about it. So if I click this, it's going to bring up the account execs information, some of their best use products, and different products that we're highlighting for whatever reason. We ask them about this, but you can also do a review if you want to. So you can press this write a review. You're going to put down what you want to say about the lender. And then it's kind of a crowdsourcing thing to where we can all kind of gain some knowledge of things, experiences that you've had there. But also on this part of it, what you can do is you can be looking at, hey, I need buy downs. I want to do a temporary buy down, right? Well, these are the lenders that will do temporary buy downs that we know of, right? And if you're looking at this and you go, oh, I actually know this lender does it as well, send it to us because we always are looking to update this. But if it was a Cal HFA loan, you could do that. If it was a down payment assistance loan, hey, who does down payment assistance? Whether it's a wholesale loan or a correspondent loan, it's going to bring it up. Click and close is one of the ones that a lot of people are using for that. All kinds of different things like that. It makes life pretty easy, whether it's a spot approval for FHA or whether it was a manual underwriting or whether it was a HE loan or a HELOC or whatever. In fact, we have a new lender that we got to put on here now as of today, where we are approved with a lender called Figure, where it's completely automated for their HELOC process. If you've ever worked with them before, you're literally selecting the product with your client. It's approving it immediately. There is no underwriters. There's no nothing. And it's for basically W-2 type borrowers, I would say, more than self-employed. But if, it can work for self-employed as well. But when you do that, then you can select it. You can get paid up to 2% right there and then. So all kinds of different things in there, foreign nationals and all that kind of stuff. So beyond that, oh, also so if you were working with Rocket, you can click on this picture right here and it's going to bring up their website. And you can just log in right now and lock your loan directly if you want. Okay, let's go on to what we call an LE. It's a little lightning bolt down here. It's basically an estimate that's going out to your borrower, whether it's conventional FHA, VA, rate and term, or cash out refinances down here. We're always updating this. And basically, it makes it to where if you're sitting on your couch or you're sitting, at a bar with somebody or at a soccer game or whatever, and you want to send them an estimate, you can do it in just a couple seconds. So let's just say it's a conventional loan. Okay, so on this estimate, basically what you're going to do is you're either going to add the contact in or you're going to select the contact. Let me just select myself. I'm going to say it's a $500,000 purchase. Let's say the person's putting down 20%, so 100 grand. Let's select a rate of 6.750. Let's say it's a 30-year fix. That's what I want. I'm not going to charge them any points or I'm not going to give them any credit with the rate I'm selecting, that type of thing. And let's just say the homeowner's insurance, well, I know it's already going to be more than the $1,200. Let's say it's going to be $2,400. If I know that the tax rate is higher than 1.25, you can put that in. If you know you're closing in the middle of the month instead of in, the very end of the month or whatever, you can put those days in. So you can make it as true as possible, or you can take out those fees if you want to. Basically, what you're going to do is take a look at the end product, conventional 30-year fixed, 6.750, $500,000 purchase, 400 loan amount. Here is your payment information, property tax information, and insurance information. You're going to be putting down $100,000. There's going to be about $9,156 in closing costs, and then it's going to break down those closing costs in this section here. Well, if you're good with it, then you're going to press send. And when you do, it goes out automatically to your client via email and via text message. It's going to have your apply now link, all your information on it. So let me show you what that's going to look like. I sent it to my Gmail address. It should be here. Here we go. So your purchase estimate right here. So it's going to come in like this. This is your client. Hi, Shaughnessy. I'm pleased to provide you the following information regarding your new home purchase. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.75, 500 purchase price. payment information, loan information, require funds due at closing, apply now link that would go directly to my own one currently, but in your app, it would go directly to you. You get notified when anybody does anything on your apply now link, which we give you as part of the service here. So, and then it's going to give all the loan details down here, where it's specifically the monthly breakdown of all the principal and interest, property taxes, and insurance. If there was an HOA, you could throw that in there, that type of thing. Closing costs that are specific to like our company, as far as if there was an appraisal that you knew was going to be more than 595, you could change that. Underwriting fees, all that kind of stuff, prepaid interest and stuff, and then again, apply now. There's the APR, of course, and all that kind of stuff down there. So you're going to look real professional here. It's very easy. We're working on one right now where it's going to give 3 different options: good, better, best, so to speak. And your client will be able to take a look at all 3 of them in one email. So that's what's coming there. Let's go back to this thing. Oops. I was going to show you another version of it. Okay, let's go back to this. So basically, there's all those estimates there. Then there's a tools section. Basically, there's how-to guides on every part of our system, resources, calculators. If you need to calculate a biweekly paycheck or something like that, you can throw it in there. It's going to help you do that. Links to all kinds of things. Like if you click on this, if you need to calculate, bank statement programs, we have a ton of different non-QM lenders that can do that. If you need to search for a lender, there's a lender search here where you can click on it. And let's say it's a loan for something that's just kind of out of the ordinary, a church loan or something like that. Well, you can search for that, and it's going to bring up lenders that will do that. And if we're not approved with them, if you need it, we will get it. It's not a big deal. Loancraft is a company that will calculate income for you. So if you have somebody that has a ton of different corporations that they're dealing with, and you don't know really what their income is going to be, they'll calculate it for you ahead of time. And then you can kind of send that into underwriting and let them know this is how you got the income. It's kind of hard for them to say that you're not doing it right, because Loancraft is used by a lot of wholesale and correspondent lenders out there. They know what they're doing. Pricing help. If you ever need any help with that, we can help you out along the way. State guidelines. If you want to get a license in different states, that's totally cool. Advertising guidelines, like if you're doing some advertising, we have a process on that. Non-QM deal desk and Excel deal desk. Let's talk about that. So we have a deal desk here. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to click on that, whether it's on your phone or on the website version of this. And I'm going to show you the website version of it as well. But basically, you're going to put in some information up here as the loan officer, the property information. You're going to put down, what type of income it is, whether it's a bank statement program, personal or business, whether it's a DSCR or whatever the type of income is. And, everything about the loan that makes it difficult. Obviously, this is for non-QM deals, not your regular standard loans. So is it a foreign national? Is I-10? What is it, right? Is there a bankruptcy or something like that? And then you can give some details of why you're sending it to them. So always say, put some details in here, more the better. And when you press send here, it's going to automatically go out to all the non-QM account execs in one email all at the same time. So you're not having to go back and forth with different lenders. Which lender should I use? If you're new here, especially, then just send it out through here, and then you're going to get some responses. Now, we'll help you and let you know, hey, if you want to send it to, I'm not going to use an actual lender name, but let's say ABC lender, we may say, oh, they're really slow right now, or you know what, they've gone back and recalculated income at a lower amount than other lenders have on a bank statement program or whatever. So those kind of things we always are kind of letting you know ahead of time. When you submit a loan here, I see it, the disclosure team sees it, some of the managers see it. And if we see a lender that we go, whoa, I wouldn't be using that lender, one of us is going to reach out right away going, hey, do you know what that lender, they are really backed up in underwriting or whatever. Most of the lenders aren't right now, but of course that will change as business gets more and more as we're getting further into 2025 here. So there's that deal desk one. There's also one that's for our internal team. So just 4 of us get that, including myself. And if it's a deal that you're just kind of wondering, what can I do with this deal? Send it to us. We'll be happy to help out. We just want to get the basic information to make sure that we know why you're sending, what the issue is with the loan. So there's a ton of other stuff in here. You're gonna have a profile with your picture and all that kind of stuff. Comp plans. So when you change your comp plan, you can update it in here. That actually corresponds to your even submission form. It puts that automatically on your submission form of 1.25% or 1.5% in this case. But you're able to update this quarterly, but you can update it here in our app anytime you want. Here is the web version of it. So I always like to let people know it's not just an app. You can do this on your computer too. So you can go through any of our lenders here. Same kind of idea where you can select the category of lender, correspondent. Let's say you wanted to look at all the correspondent lenders, or you wanted to look at bank statement programs, or whatever it is, right? It's going to bring up all these lenders, right? So same with the lending estimates and all that. You can click a lending estimate right here and just do it on your computer, so it's not just on your phone. Same with all the tools. Same situation applies. Um, also, when you go to submit a loan here, you're going to fill out some submission details, who the title company is, all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what starts the process here. You're also going to select in our LOS to send it to disclosures. But that's about it. Nick, what do we got as far as questions? And did I miss anything on the Pluto side of things?
You covered a lot of everything here. In terms of questions, so you just talked about this. There was a question within the Pluto app, can you submit a loan?
You can. So I can do it on my phone if I want to too. You'd go down to that tools section and submit a new loan, and then you're going to go submission form, boop, right here. Everything is at
Easy.
your fingertips if you need it. So yes, you can do it online on a phone or on that web version of it as well.
Excellent, excellent. And then another question regarding Pluto. Does Pluto provide real-time status updates on all of your loans currently in the pipeline?
Yeah, so once you do that submission form, that's what connects it to our Pluto app. And then on the back end, the processors use a system that we call Excel OP. And basically, it's a system that I am able to see, the managers are able to see every loan, when time stamped, when it came in, when disclosures went out, everything about your loan. I can see. And we are watching that at all times because we want to make sure the process is quick. We want to make sure things are going off, without any problems. And if it's pending for some reason, hey, we can't get fees from this title company for whatever reason, then they put notes in the system, and those notes show up under this like status update. Like I can go to the status update, and whatever the latest thing is, like I put in that still needed the updated W-2 just a little bit ago. It's going to be the top thing that came up because there's been no responses yet from that. Um, but yeah, it shows all of that right here.
Great. Questions, other questions. We have some questions regarding the pricing engine.
Okay.
Let's see here. So obviously, rates change multiple times per day. So the question is, so the question is, how often are pricing updates going to be reflected in the pricing engine?
Yeah. So I always tell people like it takes, I'm going to say on average, everyone is different because it's the way that they deliver through this pricing engine to it. So, but I would say, you should look at about a 15-minute window from the time that if you see pricing changes, then, and you know that that lender changed their pricing before it's going to probably reflect in here. But it's as soon as they send it in, it's automatic. It's not like somebody's sitting there and actually doing anything. It goes in through a link and then it gets updated in the system. But if you have a loan, let's say it's at Rocket, well, and if it's at Rocket and you already have it registered there and all that, I would just at that point be pricing it mostly through Rocket directly, especially if there's any pricing changes throughout the day. But it's pretty quick. There on the back end, I can see when the last one posted. So I'm able to always see, hey, when was the latest update on rates at all times. But yeah.
Cool. Another question in regards to the pricing engine. So is that going to also include pricing for your non-traditional loans, your non-QM, DSCR, any alternative loan products?
Yeah, in fact, while I'm searching this, I'll just do something. But yes, it does. It actually brings it up into two different tabs. As you'll see right here, there's eligible QM, there's 635 products, and there's 612 that are non-traditional, right? Angel Oaks of the world and those kind of companies and stuff like that. So if you know it's some weird loan, but really you're probably going to be putting that in the parameters of the loan, and it's not going to bring up regular QM loans. It's going to bring up non-QM kind of loans. So you can do, all kinds of things. So as you see, you can search for non-QM right here directly if that's all you're looking for, or both, qualified mortgages and non-qualified mortgages.
Does the pricing engine integrate with the LOS system? We kind of went over
Does,
that. So,
does, it does.
what else here? Can you compare multiple lenders side by side when you're
Yeah.
using pricing
Yeah.
engine?
When you're, like I said, when you're searching, you can just say, hey, I only like two of these lenders, let's say. So let's put a comp plan of 1.5% in there. And then I'm looking at, hey, I only want to look at Marihome and Flagstar and Rocket, let's say. Well, I select those are the only ones that are going to come up now. And so I can look at, hey, between on a 6.875, Amerihome's best, Flagstar's second, and by a couple basis points, Rocket's third. So, and then this one is just showing that there's another product because some of them, like Amerihome on a Fannie versus Freddie, or vice versa there, but then it might have different pricing. Rocket is one that just keeps the pricing the same, whether it's Fannie or Freddie, it's always the same. Any other questions?
That was all the questions. You pretty much, side note, all my questions you already addressed.
All right. Well, cool, cool, cool. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you for getting on this webinar. Obviously, it's a big choice for people to move to a different lender. Right now, I would say is the time to do it though, because as soon as it starts getting busy, you'd rather be comfortable where you're at and making sure that you are ready to go. One of the things that does make it easy for you to move over here when your first three loans that you have, we have you assigned to a new loan officer liaison. And that person is really one of the managers. And basically, she's going to help you along the way. There's going to be a loan processor, of course, as well. But she's going to be there to answer any question that you have. Like, how do you do this in lending pad? How do you do this in the pricing engine? All those kind of questions. You're not having to figure out who to talk to. There's one person that you're talking to. So we've come up with that process over the last several years. It's really helped a lot of loan officers. And we figured out after three loans, most loan officers totally understand the process and it's pretty easy. So I would say, you know, try to make a decision probably sooner than later because times are going to get busy again and you want to make sure you're with the right company. We did just fine during 2020 2021 when it was super busy. We added people beforehand. That's what we're doing even right now. Even though volume is starting to increase, but we're already preparing for that. So also I'll do a one-on-one meeting, just confidential, where it's not a webinar and all that kind of stuff as well, anytime, anywhere, any place. So looking forward to having you look into our company, and we send out references for loan officers. You can select any of there's like almost 80 loan officers here. Any of them, I don't care who it is, and they're going to probably sing our praises because we do look at you are our client as a loan officer here. The only reason we're in business, the only reason we're doing business is because you as a loan officer. So, anyways, that's all. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.